Coming up this week, Marvel's first family are back for the latest reiteration of the Fantastic Four. Belle Powley deals with adolescence in The Diary of a Teenage Girl. The US Army militarizes dogs in family drama Max. And David Gordon Green's latest indie drama sees Al Pacino rebuild his life in Manglehorn. All of those to come and more off-screen.
This is OffScreen. OffScreen. With the latest film news and reviews, this is OffScreen, the on-screen radio show.
Welcome to Off-Screen, I'm Van Connor.
I'm Kase Allen.
So we've got a fun week this week. I will say, next week we've got like 4 pretty good-looking films.
Week. Well, we've already seen one.
We've already seen one. Actually, I say that. Pixels is in there, and I know a lot of people aren't looking forward to it. However, I can say that all the dread is unfounded.
Okay.
So
we've got some things to look forward to.
Some things to look forward to.
Kevin James as a Prez.
Kevin James as the president. Do you know what? Yeah. That is my favourite thing about Pixels, actually.
Really?
It's strange that Kevin James is president. It's also offhandedly mentioned in Pixels that Obama was president at a point. So Kevin James has to have beaten Barack Obama in an election. Now, that's a prequel I want to see. I don't want to see a prequel about King Kong.
Yeah, you don't want video games. You want it grounded in reality.
I want
not really grounded in reality if Kevin James can beat Barack Obama. Yeah,
I want a satirical comedy. I want to see The Campaign in which Kevin James beats Barack Obama, played by, which one of Key and Peele? Jordan Peele?
Jordan Peele, yeah.
Jordan Peele as Obama.
His impression is amazing.
God, how are we not doing? How are they not writing?
I feel like we've gone off on some wonderful big tangent.
I would watch that movie. Though. Okay, so should we just review Manglehorn and get over with that?
We'll talk about Pixels next week, but Manglehorn right now.
Yeah. So Manglehorn, which is the latest indie drama from David Gordon Green, who seems to have made it his forte to do indie drama
in the last few years. I mean, that's how he kind of made a name for himself, cut his teeth, definitely.
Well, because he did Prince Avalanche, which you and I are both fans of.
Yeah, big time, yeah.
Joe. He did Joe with Nicolas Cage.
That I just watched recently.
Well, this is the thing, because his films seem to come out a year later here than they do everywhere else. So Joe was like 2013, we didn't get it till 2014. And I know Chris Wilson was a very big fan. He actually drove the length of the country. Drove the length of the country to see it. And deservedly so. Nicolas Cage was fantastic in it. So, the latest one, Manglehorn, this sees Al Pacino star as a local locksmith, a sort of beaten down, Al Pacino-aged locksmith. Is Al Pacino meant to be in his 60s, 70s? I can never tell anymore.
70s, I think, now, yeah. Very early 70s.
Yeah, so this is kind of the antithesis of Danny Collins, in one sense. He's got a lost love whom he keeps reflecting back on periodically, sort of the lost love that defines his life. He's got an estranged son, played by Chris Messias, I want to say.
Oh, really?
Chris Messias from Devil. And I remember him mostly from The Newsroom, which I'm not sure if you started watching.
Still on the list. Still on the Alan Sorkin list.
You'll love him in The Newsroom. He's sleazy and fun. And he begins a friendship with a local bank teller, played by Holly Hunter. And through his friendship with her, begins to sort of reassess his priorities and start to rebuild his life, look to move on and basically make peace in the world and get on with things. And then somewhere along the way, Harmony Korine turns up as a local sleazeball.
Really?
Here's a clip.
I'm asking for help, Dad.
Help? What kind of help? I got a pull-out sofa in the house. You want that? You want to stay here?
I don't want your sofa. You know what I want? It would be great if you could be a father.
What is that?
How about that? Could be okay, Jacob. It could be good, Jacob. It could be okay. Gonna be okay.
Is that what being a dad is?
Yeah.
It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay.
So yeah, Harmony Korine piqued your interest, didn't
Fantastic, yeah. I did not know that he was in this film.
Not only is Harmony Korine in this, but as a result of filming this with Al Pacino, he apparently cast Al Pacino as the lead in his next film.
Oh, I've got to see that.
So yeah, I want to see a Harmony Korine movie starring Al Pacino.
doing Spring Breakers 2.
Al Pacino takes over the role of Alien for Spring Breakers 2. That would be amazing, since James Franco apparently isn't interested. So, David Gordon Green, excellent director.
Yeah, fantastic.
I do think his work is fantastic. I think Prince Avalanche is his best. I know Joe gets all the kudos, but Prince Avalanche, I think, is his
I find like Prince Avalanche is the best for him. I feel like Joe was definitely Nick Cage's film. Like,
very much.
Yeah, got a lot of praise for that flick.
Well, this doesn't quite have the far-fetched sort of criminal aspect, for instance, of Joe. You know, that sort of bad guys and good guys, shades of grey. This is just a straight character drama about a guy with a broken
very cut
life.
And dry, yeah.
Very cut and dry. Al Pacino is terrific in it. Absolutely, and this is 2 for 2 for Al Pacino. This year. I mean, having
Pacino Sons, that doesn't work, does it?
Pacino Sons.
Pacino Sons.
Yeah. We'll think of something.
Cast him as Star-Lord's dad. That's what the world wants to see.
That's what it is, isn't it? If that rumor ever turned out to be real, oh my god! But also having now seen how good he was in Danny Collins, how good he is in this.
Yeah.
You know what? Something like that kind of makes sense.
That would be good.
That's
absolutely.
a logical. And after you've had Robert Redford and
they can get anyone
Michael Douglas do it. Why not get Al Pacino? But in the case of this show, you've got the great performance by Al Pacino. You've got a terrific, engaging role from Holly Hunter as well. And the pair of them have worked out. I mean, Pacino has got a balance of personality. He's neutered his charisma so that it's still there, but it makes sense in the form of a real person, if you can understand what I mean.
Yeah.
It's
kind of pictured it well.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's It's like trying to imagine me doing Shakespeare. You have to new personality.
Please just try it. Just alas, poor Yorick.
What oh, my lord. And that doesn't work unless I do it. Unless I do it in the voice of Keanu Reeves, it doesn't work. Oh, my lord. So that actually happened. Just saying, it actually happened. Right. But say, his chemistry with Holly Hunter is great, and it's bolstered by really great character writing. But the character writing comes at a cost, which is story writing. And the story writing is where Manglehorn falls really short, because it's very unfocused in terms of what it wants to be, in terms of what it wants to do. And it goes sort of all over the place. It has this plot of Al Pacino's character and wanting to rebuild his life and get on with things, but it keeps devolving into, okay, but now I want to go and explore my relationship with this character and this character, and now I want to explore this aspect, and I want to explore a brief hint of alcoholism. I'm not quite sure where you're wanting to be with this. Is it the rebuilding the life story? Is that the focus of this? Or it's a very it's instead of a baseline, it's more of a wavy.
Another wavy line.
Yeah, it's more of a roller coaster than a straight line. And you're thinking, in this sort of a film, you want a straight line and not a roller coaster. Roller coaster's fine if you're Kevin Smith. Not so much if you're David Gordon Green. And when you look at something like Prince Avalanche and how focused and how brilliant and how character-driven that film was, it does sort of paint more of a...
Well, with Prince Avalanche, I mean, there's literally just two characters in that film.
There's two characters in the woods, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's essentially what it is. Paul Rudd as Ned Flanders. I mean, what's not to
That's it. And there's the guy in the truck.
Yes. Yeah.
Very briefly.
Shouldn't smell that cigar because you look stupid. No. But I will say, I mean, I liked Manglehorn, but it's not a crowd pleaser by any stretch of the imagination. It's not. It's not anywhere near David Gordon Green's better work. Hasn't he got something amazing coming up?
He's got one of the numerous Boston Bomber dramas.
That was it, yes.
Stronger, I think.
The Jake Gyllenhaal one we were talking about last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, well, I mean, perfect for him. I hope it's more of a
really works for him,
story-based drama, I think, in that one, with some character, rather than the sort of mess that this is in that regard. Okay. But this is a first-time writer. This is a guy named Paul Logan, who is a screenwriter. He's a stage writer, sorry, as far as I know. He's a stage writer who worked, I think, as a transportation manager on Prince Avalanche. I looked into this, I'm like, well, what are the odds?
Yeah. Anything can happen in Hollywood now.
I just imagine the delivery guy on Prince Avalanche just gave him a script.
Yeah.
Dave, would you mind giving this a read? Just Great, I shall make it immediately. We'll get Al Pacino. Sounds like the kind of thing you blag at a bar, doesn't it? We'll get Al Pacino, sure. But let's have a look at the top 10 then before we carry on.
Yes, let's do that.
Number 10.
Okay, we have a Bollywood. Kase pronounced it quite well last week.
This is actually in for a second week.
That never happens.
That never happens.
So let's try and pronounce it right now. Bajrangi Bhajan?
That's exactly how I pronounced it last week. And
Let's
very
do that.
well done.
Cool.
I say we know nothing about it.
Number 9.
Moving down, Ted 2.
Which I still maintain I like very much.
I like it. It's a Family Guy road trip. It's the road to the multiverse.
It's one of the Brian Stewie Road movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Funny thing, you and I have said this before about Ted 2, that it is very sketch-based, but also we did point out that a lot of the sketches have been done in Family Guy. I was in bed last night watching BBC Three repeating Family Guy, and they actually did the improv bit. Which Chris Wilson and I both agree is the best moment of the film.
Absolutely, yeah.
I would argue that Mark Wahlberg on a witness stand is just as good. Nobody likes you, you loser! But I'd argue that. But the improv thing is far and away. And that moment is in Family Guy.
It's an actual sketch.
Yeah.
There was those. I'm sure they did the Jurassic Park bit in a sketch as well.
I'm sure that's been done as well. But that's the thing. It just feels kind of lazy when you look at it that way.
Yeah. But it's interesting to see these ones done in a live action.
Reminds me of, do
Where?
you remember when they used to make novels out of Red Dwarf?
Yeah.
Did you ever read any of those?
I've not read them, but
They
I'm
used
aware.
to take skits from Red Dwarf, like sort of little character comedy moments, and they would lift the moment verbatim, but they would put it in a new context.
Right.
So they would just have it happen in the middle of another event, and it worked. Strangely, it worked. But yeah, so they had entire episodes, but placed in a more science fiction Hitchhiker's Guide context.
Yeah.
This is the same kind of thing with Family Guy sketches. It's just in a different context. But I'm not going to fault
a different
it.
location, yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it definitely works.
Number 8.
Don't know what else to say about The Empire Strikes Back.
You know what? It's still going. They've put out their own trailer as well. Have you seen this?
What, for Secret Cinema?
For The Empire Strikes Back, they've put out an actual. They've done this in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Put out an actual trailer for The Empire Strikes Back, modified with a little Secret Cinema flair.
You're right, okay.
Yeah, I've not watched it myself yet, but it's something I do find intriguing. It's one of the greatest movies ever.
Well, absolutely. I mean, and it's been in the top 10 for at least 4 weeks, so I don't know what else we can say about it.
It's very true. And for some reason, I think I've noted that down wrong. It says 8 weeks on mine, but never mind. It can't be 8 weeks. It might be. Might be 8 weeks.
It's been in the top 10 so long I've lost all concept of time.
I think it has.
Yeah.
But,
Anyway.
well, on to the next one.
Number 7.
Okay, straight in. Gloria from Modern Family and Reese without her spoon in Hot Pursuit.
Funny story about Hot Pursuit. I compare it to Midnight Run, right?
Yeah.
Turns out I'm not the only one, right? You can try this challenge yourself.
Okay.
Go on Wikipedia,
Yeah.
type in Hot Pursuit, and at the bottom of the page, it genuinely says, see also Midnight Run. Really? Like, this is how
When you
close
described
to...
it was just
It
Midnight
is.
Run, yeah.
Right, no, first of all, it's not a great movie. It isn't. But if you're going in expecting it to be, I think the blame on that one lies on you.
Yeah.
It really does.
It's a frothy... Yeah.
I mean, this isn't
It's a
even
frothy
90 minutes.
comedy.
Yeah, it's not even 90 minutes.
No.
It's
What was his name?
obviously
Splooge? Did we say? Or
Sploosh. Rob Kaczynski as Sploosh.
Sploosh.
And yeah, because
That's like a Rob Schneider.
Rob Kaczynski to Durka.
Yes.
But no, Reese Witherspoon is trying for comedy here rather than playing it straight in a comedy, and that's when you realise that is her strength, is playing it straight in comedies. That's why Legally Blonde works so well. That's why Reese Witherspoon can pull off a comedy, because she's very good at, I will play it straight, everyone else do the jokes, and I will be funnier, I will make it funnier as a result. That works.
That works.
Here, not quite so much. And in terms of Sofia Vergara, she's just playing the Modern Family character.
She's being Gloria.
And she's just she does the audience POV thing of, oh look, Reese Witherspoon, you wear large pants. You know, and you're like, really? And also in 2015, do we really need, the attractive TV actress to play a character entirely defined by the fact that she's decent looking and has large breasts? Really? Because didn't we try this with Anna Nicole Smith in the 90s? But
You're comparing Sofia Vergara to Anna Nicole Smith, really?
I didn't mean to. I assure you, they're alike in no other way.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Number 6.
Moving down, Jurassic World in militarizing dino IMAX eye-pop in 3D.
Yes, militarizing dinosaurs. And it's funny how often this joke has now come up amongst our circle of friends.
And now, like, outside of a circle of friends,
Yeah, people
you'll
are
read
starting
something and...
Yeah, people are starting to come up with the whole Vincent D'Onofrio thing, aren't they? Hey, do you think he wants to militarize dinosaurs?
Yeah.
And do you know what's really funny? We're fixating on that gag, and yet the film is really, really good. And we're going to reference this film later when it comes to Fantastic Four. But Colin Trevorrow...
Yeah, well done.
Bravo, sir. Bravo. Just
Do you
well
think
done.
he is actually going to come back to direct? Because he's going to be writing the sequel.
He's been writing it. I don't know.
He said that he wouldn't direct, but I don't know. I feel like...
I think he's so much... I feel like he's so much a part of what works about Jurassic World. Because his directorial style... Strangely, it feels more in line with the Spielbergian quality of the whole franchise, which exists for an obvious reason, than, for instance, Joe Johnston did last time.
It doesn't
which
really
is
have a style.
Very, very odd, because if anyone should get the Spielbergian style, it should have been Joe Johnston.
with his work on Raiders and everything. But
well, yeah, you would think Joe Johnston was connected enough to Spielberg to know that style,
absolutely,
to do a good facsimile of it. But no, it turns out we need the safety not guaranteed guy to do it. And you know what? He made Chris Pratt even more awesome in the process, and reminded us how great Bryce Dallas Howard is.
Yeah. She is very good.
She is very good.
Irfan Khan as well.
Khan. I love Irfan Khan. Go to the beach, get some sun. I love how he says that. Sun.
Yeah.
Because he seems to spell sun S-A-R-N. Sun.
Maybe that's how it was written in his script.
love him. I love him so much. He's such a good character.
Really good. Cool.
No.
Number 5.
Minions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Did
let
you mean
talk.
to say that those those allegedly lovable minions?
I think that's what I said last time.
Those apparently lovable minions.
Those apparently, yeah. I'll say allegedly next week.
Allegedly lovable. Right, I like Minions. I like the film very much. I think it's better than Despicable Me 2. I don't think it has anywhere near the heart, soul, and just general warmth of Despicable Me 1, which I think is a modern classic. I do. I'm a big fan of animation in general, as are you, actually. You're a big animation
I'm a huge fan of animation. I enjoyed the first one. The role that Minions play is quite small.
That's it. Now, that's the thing, because you think... Maybe when it came to doing more, I think because Despicable Me 2 fails, I think, because there is an attempt to do more with the Minions that really is dwarfed by an unengaging villain. And then you've got the Minions movie, which, again, has a kind of uninteresting villain. And you can't help but think that the Michael Keaton and Alison Janney characters were a lot more appealing. And because you've not seen the film.
No.
When you see the film, you will look at the set of characters of which Alison Janney and Michael Keaton are a part, and you will think, that should have been the movie. That's the movie. That's a great movie right there. This could have been actually a really interesting road trip movie. But it isn't. And,
it's not, unfortunately.
I enjoy the film still. I still think the film's very good. It's very funny. It's got its swinging 60s pop culture reference engine in full swing, complete with all the soundtrack beats that you know it has to hit. And, well, what's not to love for me?
Number 4.
Michael Douglas, Paul Rudd in Ant-Man.
You say that in a way that implies that you're not a fan.
I know, I don't know why, because I'm a huge fan. I can't control my own voice sometimes.
You can't, are you just Ron Burgundy, is that what it is?
I know. I'm Ron Burgundy.
Ant-Man? Ant-Man? As if it should be Ant-Woman.
No, I am a very, very, very big fan of this film. It's up there with my favourite of the MCU's, probably up there with Guardians and Winter Soldier.
Really?
Same for a lot of people, I think.
I think it is the most out-and-out comedic. Although, weirdly, I don't think it's as funny as Guardians, even though it is more of a comedy. But it is gut-bustingly funny. I think Paul Rudd is excellent in it, doing what Paul Rudd does. I think the film is stolen by Michael Pena.
Absolutely.
Out and out stolen by Michael Pena, who is fantastic. Yeah. I got the van now. I got a van now. I love him. Baskin Robbins always finds out.
Dad died.
You see, you do the jaw as well. And you do Michael Pena's weirdly jaw. Vertical jaw. But
like a Canadian from South Park.
It kind of is. It is like that, yeah. Dead. But no, I like Ant-Man very much. I think after all the behind-the-scenes troubles, I think it was a pleasant surprise. I was taken aback at how straightforward and simplistic it was, how small a scale, no pun intended, it is, and how much I enjoy Corey Stoll as this ludicrously out-and-out villain.
Yeah, everything he wears, even including the like suits and yellow jacket, you
can have a tie pin that says evil on it.
Evil.
But also, I quite like Evangeline Lilly, even though she has nothing to do.
Let's wait until Infinity War.
Let's wait until
Wasp comes up. Yeah.
Number 3.
Next up, Southpaw, which I still haven't seen.
You haven't seen it?
No, I will get around to watch it. Huge fan of Kurt Sutter. Big fan of his.
But I would say I am as well. Kurt Sutter, I love I love his writing. I love Sons of Anarchy, and his writing was the start of
films by Antoine Fuqua.
Yeah, because this is a Fuqua film.
This is literally
Fuqua film. This is a film from Fuqua Films.
So just a bit of a side note. Simon Kinberg.
Yeah.
Just at the end of Fantastic Four, I think that his production company. There's a thing that comes up says Kinberg Genre.
Oh
no! Is that his production company?
I'm going to have to look into this.
Oh man!
Wow.
During the break, I'll have a look and confirm. But if it is indeed Kim Bogdan, that just cements my.
I'm gonna have a look into that. Well, I think there's enough to hate on with Fantastic Four, if we're honest.
Yeah, but Southpaw.
Southpaw, excellent performances, excellent direction by Fuqua. You've got a story which really is pretty much Rocky 3. And,
definitely.
It really is
it's a redemption minus the running on the beach.
If Mr. T had killed Adrian. If Mr. T had killed Adrian at the beginning of Rocky 3, that's the movie.
Club Line would never done that. He loves women too much.
Yeah,
He's always like, hey woman, hey woman, hey woman, hey woman. Want to see what a real man's like?
That's exactly what I mean. See what a real man's like.
I've seen Rocky 3 too many times.
I think we all have, yeah. But I'd say it's a very predictable story beat for beat because it is Rocky 3. However, it is fleshed out in such a way by Kurt Sutter's writing, his usual brilliant level of character writing, which is what made Sons of Anarchy the series that it was, that you can overlook it and you get sucked into it and you do enjoy it, even though you know, given how predictable it is, that you shouldn't. So I call it a win all round, despite that flaw.
Number 2.
Inside Out.
Which you saw again yesterday, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Bing Bong!
Yeah. Pretty much everything that Bing Bong says cracks me up. Playing mean nose.
How is that not John Ratzenberger, though? Because Bing Bong is voiced by Richard Kind from Spin City.
I think it really works with Richard Kind, though. And I'm glad to see him back in the fold for Pixar.
Because he was in Bug's Life, wasn't he?
Yeah, he played like the idiot brother.
Kevin Spacey's idiot brother, which is a live action casting I would love to see.
That would work, actually.
That would strangely work, wouldn't it?
It would really work.
But no, I love it.
Like a similar kind of hairline.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, really, really enjoyed it. I think it's
Did Cassie cried again, you say?
Oh, yeah, like Niagara Falls.
Wet like a baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Right up there.
Yeah, I thought it was a really emotional, really
Pete Docter, again. Pete Docter doing what he does.
But I really enjoyed it, and I got to briefly meet Pete Docter as well, which was
no
nice.
way.
Yeah, I did.
He's got such a freaky looking face, but
I thought
incredible.
Actually, I thought he's nerd Peyton Reed. It's the weird thing. He's nerd Peyton Reed, which is kind of cool because Peyton Reed is Butch Dean from Community.
Oh my god, yeah. So he just, But very like interested and looking dude, but incredibly clever.
But no, Inside Out is excellent. It is. I don't think it's Pixar's best, if I'm honest. I think Up is the pinnacle for me of Pixar. It is. Up is the perfect Pixar movie, I think. And
everybody was talked about that first 5 minutes of Up.
The first 5 to 10
minutes.
But I think the film in general is great. The film in general is.
It's
wacky
dips,
and out there, and
but I
find
that with Inside Out. I find there's some bits that were not for kids in Inside Out.
I did think that as well.
Yeah, the whole abstract thought bit. Just what is a child meant to think watching that when they're just shapes?
The subconscious, for instance, things like that. I thought I love the train of thought.
Train of thought was Deja Vu is one of my favourite guys.
Yes,
Deja Vu.
We did that actually last year when we were doing the news that Ellen DeGeneres was going to be back for Finding Dory.
Oh god,
we just kept repeating the news every 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and we're back as the absent-minded fish Dory.
Yeah. I am now more looking forward to that. Andrew Stanton was actually a producer on this.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
Number 1.
And then right in at number 1, Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation.
Can you see how much money this has made? It is ungodly.
Yes.
This is a movie that they thought
it's really
wouldn't
good.
track
That's why.
Well.
Yeah, I saw those opening tracking.
I just want to point out then that means that like twice within the space of about a month, 2 major studios have thought that their films were going to tank and have handled it entirely differently. Of course, one of those films deserves to tank, or trank, as the case may be, and the other one is excellent with a slightly damp ending. Yeah. But Mission Impossible,
I'm still cool with that.
You like the ending? I think the ending's slightly damp given what immediately precedes it.
Yeah, a lot of people are kind of criticising the way the flick opens.
The sun has just set on us. We are sat in complete darkness now.
It's because it's Tom Cruise on a plane.
It's Tom Cruise on a plane flying over us. But
a lot of people seem to be a little bit down on the way the film up. I think it's a very brash, cool, bold move.
I like it. Yeah, I love that
sequence. Has been so intrinsic to the marketing.
That this hanging on a plane, and you think actually, I kind of like that. That's your money shot, and you're opening with your money shot.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That open, I was like, I'm on board.
Weirdly, I do think the rest of the film plays strangely a lot more like the first movie than anything else, which is kind of odd. But I like that. I find that kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
I think Sean Harris makes an excellent villain. He's no Philip Seymour Hoffman, but then again, who could be? And Rebecca Ferguson, as we both said,
as a great addition, femme fatale.
Great femme fatale type. Yeah. It's a shame she won't be back for Mission Impossible 6 because if this series has established anything, it's that women are disposable.
I don't know, but it kind of leaves it open hanging. But the way that this has now given her like a platform, I think any film's hers now. Any franchise.
Just gonna say it, Expendables.
Possibly.
It's still coming.
Well, she is lined up to be female lead in Gambit. I don't know if you've heard about that. It's either her or Léa Seydoux because apparently any film that needs a woman now,
gets Léa Seydoux. Well, funnily enough, you've nicely segued us into some film news, but we've got to get a review out of the way first. So Max.
Let's do Max now. Yeah.
Right. This is the latest from director Boaz Yakin, who brought us Safe.
That's the last thing I saw from him. Yeah.
Yeah. He also directed Uptown Girls. I remember that.
I remember it, but I did not see it.
The Brittany Murphy vehicle with Dakota Fanning. Back when Dakota Fanning was still a cute little girl.
Was she the girl? Oh,
she was the little girl, yeah. So, Max, which is the story of a search and rescue dog in the army in Afghanistan, who his handler is Robbie Amell from The Duff. You might remember us doing the peck pop in The Duff. Or I know him better as Firestorm from The Flash and Arrow. So he trains Max in Afghanistan, but when his handler is killed... The handler, by the way, his name's Kyle. I'm going to give the name because it gets a bit confusing in a moment. Kyle, who is Max's handler, is killed in action in Afghanistan. And Max is returned to the States round about the same time as Kyle's funeral. And the local army veterinary hospital decide to bring Max to the funeral to pay the respects because it's nearby, and you get that nice YouTube soldier reunion video moment in which Max climbs the coffin to pay respects to his dead master. But he's broken. Max has broken. He's gone feral. He's barking at everyone, but he will only calm down for Kyle's rebellious teenage brother. Wouldn't you know it? His rebellious brother, who wears a t-shirt with 'America and plays Call of Duty video games whilst pirating software and speaking unkindly about US military action. However, as Kyle's brother and Max begin to bond, Kyle's squad mate from Afghanistan also returns on medical discharge, returns to their hometown because they grew up together, and the question comes up of exactly how did Kyle die? Here's a clip.
Gil, don't let your dog walk you, you walk your dog. Dogs run in packs, so if he's leading you, he's leading the pack.
My brother said Max was like a specialized search dog. Could go out in front of his handler for like 300 yards. Locate weapons and explosives and stuff.
Yo, we got the Air Jordan of dogs here, man. You got him shooting layups?
Oh, I'm sorry, Chewie, did you want to try walking?
Heck no, you crazy?
So yes, as you can hear, this
bit of intrigue in that.
Yeah, there is no intrigue to this whatsoever.
Just the way you said it.
There's no intrigue. Yeah, it's very on the nose, very Lifetime, very Hallmark.
Yeah,
a cast which includes a cast which includes Robbie Amell, Thomas Hayden Church, and Lauren Graham. Cannot save this at all. It is very,
I like
very
all
Hallmark.
those three actors as well.
Yeah, and Boaz Yakin just is not trying to inject anything remotely resembling creativity or life into it. He's also co-written it, which is particularly depressing. And no, this is very, very, very bad. I will say, I mean, it's got that. The first 15 minutes do play like one of those YouTube soldier reunion videos. You know the kind.
I know ones,
yeah. The dog waited at the airport for him for 3 months, and now he's back. That kind of a moment. And don't get me wrong, the softies in the audience will weep within about the first 15. That funeral scene will absolutely destroy them, some people. I will admit I got a little choked up. The non-cynic in me was a little bit choked up, but then the cynic took over.
Pull yourself together, Van.
Pull yourself together, Van. Just supposed to be reviewing this, damn it. And although I will point out that my dog loved it. So, I've got a picture of her watching it.
Really?
So, right, on to some. Should we do a bit of film news before we?
Let's do that. Let's do some film news.
So we'll just do a couple. Oh, Frank Grillo is going to return for The Purge 3.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Awesome news, although that destroys the anthology aspect a little bit for me.
Yeah, because it's meant to be kind of like one kind of lead. Ethan Hawke was there, now he's gone. Frank Grillo, and now he's back.
Someone else. Yeah. It's Manu Bennett's turn, man. Come on.
I do like him, though.
Yeah. So the Coen brothers have signed on to write and possibly direct an adaptation of the 60s detective novel Black Money. That could be interesting.
I think that'll work, yeah.
60s detectives, Coen brothers. What can go wrong?
They're quite good at that, like, noirish kind of thriller.
All right, we'll have one piece of bad news before we cut to the break. Pez is going to be turned into a movie.
Yeah.
Sorry, so can we give that... Pez is being dispensed into a movie. There we are. So yes, the Candystore Pez is going to be a movie. Yep. God help us.
Because, property.
Yeah, because ... money.
Yeah.
With the latest film news and reviews, this is OffScreen.
And we're back. So, before we crack on with another review, should we do a couple of bits of film news?
We've got a few pieces, haven't we?
A few pieces. So, did I say about Nightmare on Elm Street getting rebooted?
No, but of course it is.
Of course it is. Yeah, new line of rebooting not Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street again. I've literally just said it.
Hey, they probably will.
They probably will. No, Friday the 13th is coming as well. John Legend. Are you a fan of John Legend?
Yeah, this news is going to be in La La Land,
which is Damien Chazelle's follow-up to Whiplash.
Oh, you've wanted to do that all day. That's very exciting news.
Well, we've also got another reboot. Warner Brothers are rebooting Dungeons and Dragons again.
Yeah.
Just please reboot this one like the 80s cartoon. Please. I would love to see that as
We don't need Jeremy Irons. We don't
we don't need any of that. We just need the wisecracking cavalier with his shield.
Is it a Wayans brother?
It was Marlon Wayans. Yeah. Let us never forget that Marlon Wayans was in Dungeons and Dragons. Right, my favourite news of the week, right, is, and this was after her great win the other night, Ronda Rousey is going to star in her own biopic. So they're adapting her biography, My Fight, Your Fight.
I hope that it's like My Fight, Your Fight, the Ronda Rousey story, starring Ronda Rousey.
That's going to be awesome, but that's it. Ronda Rousey's going to play herself, Howard Stern style, in an
or to a lesser extent, 50 Cent.
To a lesser extent, 50
Get
Cent.
Rich or Die Trying.
That was just bad though.
Yeah, Howard Stern though.
Yeah, Howard Stern. That was perfectly fine. And but this is my favourite thing. Mark Bomback is writing it, which I think is the greatest name ever for if you're writing about Ronda Rousey. Bomback presents Ronda Rousey.
Bomback Productions.
But so let's move on to. We shall review then. The Diary of a Teenage Girl.
Which is
this is the directorial debut, is also the screenwriting debut of a TV actress named Marielle Heller.
What's she done?
I confess I'm not familiar with it. She starred in loads of things that you know, but you don't know the actress. I think she's like a bit player, I think. But you think, okay, fair enough. She starred in this film now. And this is a sort of a 70s set, San Francisco-based coming-of-age drama, starring Belle Powley, who you might remember from A Royal Night Out, Kristen Wiig as her mum, and Alexander Skarsgård as her mum's boyfriend. And what happens in this is that Belle Powley just reaches a certain point in her adolescence where she begins to explore sexually and begins a relationship with her mum's boyfriend, which in turn sets off just this emotional roller coaster. It's like the boulder from Raiders of the Lost Ark, only it's made of pure emotion, and it's just coming down on her. And it's just this exploration of the life of a teenage girl and her sexual awakening following this illicit affair with her mom's boyfriend. We have a clip.
Just because your mother and I no longer share a marital bed.
Oh my God, gross.
You have to understand. It's difficult to go from raising you and your sister to barely having a say in any of your decisions.
Whose choice was that?
Well, if you must know, it was your mother's. And that is not to say I was without fault, but she became increasingly frightening to me in some sense. She does not live life according to rules I understand.
Pascal, do you really want to help?
Yes, I do. Of course I do.
His mom doesn't have a job anymore. She's looking for another one. But we kind of don't have any money. She doesn't know I'm asking you.
I get it. You're just trying to help.
So yes, Belle Powley, who is a lot of fun in this movie. She's so engaging in this. And Belle Powley stole the show in A Royal Night Out. I think a lot of people thought
A lot of people agree, yeah.
She stole the show completely. They could have marketed that movie purely on that shot of her just turning up at the gates of Buckingham Palace and shouting, "Cooey!"
Yeah.
Because she's just adorable in that movie. She's brilliant. Here, she's purely trying to just swing for the look. I can act stakes, and you know what? She really, really can. I was shocked to find out that she's actually about 22. You think, okay, fair
really?
enough. And there is a nudity component to the film, which kind of precludes that she cannot be the age she's playing. By the way, this is a hard 18, and deservedly so in places. The character, though, and this is worth pointing out because I'm going to get to the style of it in a second. The character is an aspiring cartoonist. She worships the independent comics of the 70s. And this plays a lot into her personality, and she particularly idolises one in particular, so she draws her own comics throughout. And these are actually brought into the world of the film. So these drawn characters...
Like kind of animated
Yes,
style.
these hand-drawn animated actually interact with a film which is already visually astonishing. There is a colour correction element to this film, which will have the editors of every Michael Bay movie ever weeping. Right? Colin Trevorrow...
I don't think they're ever going to see it, though.
They're not going to see this, no. Colin Trevorrow is watching this film thinking, God, why did I apply that filter to Jurassic World? You know, you just think, wow, it really looks... It's like 2 shades orange. Just 2% orange. You know, rather than the 15% you normally
get.
Does
it do to the colour orange what Steven Soderbergh does to the colour yellow?
Yes. Kind of like that. But because she's done that, what it does is it gives the film a wonderfully bleached 70s aesthetic. You know when you see, like, when you go into, like, an old house and there's wallpaper from the 70s that has been
a bit faded,
cigarette stained, and it has that, it looks like it's something. The whole film looks like that.
Just that poster for it, it's just browns and oranges.
Wonderful.
Browns and oranges.
I haven't seen a debut this impressive since, I think, Garden State. In terms of how visually impressive Garden State was, without the navel gazing aspect, although this film actually has navels for you to gaze at. Alexander Skarsgård plays his role in this quite brilliantly, which is to say that he has this very... I think soulful take on what is quite a black-hearted kind of a character. What is should be quite a lecherous character, but he plays it quite soulfully, just the right way. Then you've got Kristen Wiig, who's doing indie drama again, and that's always a wonderful thing. Very minor role for Kristen Wiig, although she does get those great beats that you want to see Kristen Wiig.
She gets like the Alice and Janney lines.
She gets the Alice and Janney moments. Yeah,
knocks it out of the park.
But no comedy in it for Kristen Wiig, to be fair.
Oh, really?
And but say. Bel Powley, though, owns this show. It is effectively a two-hander between Marielle Heller's direction and screenplay and Bel Powley's performance, and works very much in that favour. And considering the pair of them are so early on in their respective career stages, great start. Absolutely terrific.
Makes you want to see where it's going to go next.
I want to see them team up again. Actually, I want to see them do more together, because
it sounds like it could be a really good pairing. Yeah,
very much so.
Good working partnership.
It's a wake up call for anyone who didn't see Royal Night Out that Bel Powley is someone to watch. There's genuine appeal here. But okay, so a bit more film news out of the way. Brad Payton, did San Andreas,
Rock's best friend.
Rock's best friend.
Got him doing Rampage, and now he's been announced for... Has he got a title?
It hasn't got a title. It is untitled military adventure movie.
But I would want that to be the title.
I would. Just call it military adventure movie. I would watch that.
Starring The Rock.
From the director of San Andreas, military adventure movie. Who stars The Rock, which, given that title, that basic concept...
Absolutely,
good, Bad Boys.
3 and 4, yeah.
Not 1, but 2 sequels to Bad Boys coming. Yes. So Bad Boys 3, Bad Boys 4.
Joe Cannon's still attached.
I mean,
yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Michael Bay back. I really don't. I don't want him to come back. I want Jerry Bruckheimer to still produce them, which he apparently still is.
Yeah, you've got to get those like big helicopter slow-mo bits.
You need the Bruckheimer production.
Absolutely,
But I think Joe Carnahan is kind of now where Michael Bay was in the early 90s, really. He's at that rock stage where when Michael Bay was doing Bad Boys, actually. He is there. He's back to that. I think he's at that stage. I mean, say what you will about The A-Team, which is a ludicrous adaptation. The style of it is not the problem.
I really enjoyed The Grey. Really enjoyed Stretch.
The Grey. Stretch is
Stretch is the kind of humour I would want for Bad Boys. Yeah.
But no, I very much enjoy his style.
This is part of Sony's big
push
schedule,
which includes a remake of Jumanji
that nobody wants.
Yeah, but I mean, there is a moment in Fantastic Four in which Reed Richards takes a selfie, and you think that's pretty much what we're going to get with a Jumanji.
It's going to be on like an iPad, isn't it?
That's it. It's going to be an iPad.
Yeah, it's going to be an app. Yeah,
it's going to be an app. Yeah, that's not what I need.
No, they're saying it's been remade because the effects don't hold up and Snapchat.
Snapchangy, that would work.
That would, because the film would be like a few seconds long.
I think we'd prefer if it was a few seconds long.
Yeah.
So, Colin Farrell has joined the cast of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is the upcoming Harry Potter film.
Of course, yeah.
What else we got? The Hobbit prequels. The extended versions are to be released in cinemas.
Because they were much loved.
Yes, those 3 Hobbit movies in their elongated forms are going to reach.
Bring back Lord of the Rings again.
Can we not have we never had the extended Lord of the Rings. I'd prefer to see those.
Yeah, we never had those back in the cinema.
In fact, do you know what? I will put up with the extended Hobbit trilogy in cinemas if it means we then get the extended Lord of the Rings in cinemas. But why do it now? Take some time, master them for IMAX. Take some time, fit them to IMAX. Reissue them. Do you know what? Everyone would see those.
Yeah.
You'd go and see 6 Lord of the Ring movies in IMAX, wouldn't you?
Oh man, straight away.
What else?
First in the queue.
Arthur Butterfield, who was going to be Spider-Man at one stage, has signed up for an untitled sci-fi romance tale.
Oh really?
Yes.
Anything else behind that? Any directors? Any writers?
Well, it's going to star Britt Robertson from Tomorrowland, whom I quite like as a.
I liked her. Yeah. Well, we both said what Tomorrowland fans we were.
Yeah, well, we both liked it. We would. I think we were in something of a minority, but I don't get it. It's not John Carter, is he?
Minority in the fact that where people will go see original sci-fi films.
Yes, yeah, but never mind. One final bit then. Corey Hawkins, who's playing Dr. Dre in Straight Outta Compton. Yes. And weirdly, he seems to be the only one that doesn't look like the guy he's playing.
I know. Well, the guy playing Ice Cube is Ice Cube's son.
I know.
It's just...
But Corey Hawkins...
The guy playing Eazy-E is eerily similar.
Yeah. It's funny that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a good job Tupac doesn't cameo in that film. That's all I'm saying.
Get a hologram in there.
Get a hologram in there, yeah, exactly. But, so Corey Hawkins, who plays Dr. Dre, he's signed on for Skull Island, you know? To give it its proper title, it's now Kong, Skull Island.
Yeah, but you've got to say colon. Very important part.
You have to, yeah. And this is... What more impresses me about Skull Island is it's going to star Brie Larson.
Yeah.
And you and I are both big Brie Larson
big time
fans.
Well, in Trainwreck, she's great in that film. Yeah. Short Term 12, she's great in that.
Well, we can't talk too much about Trainwreck, though. We don't want to give the game away ahead of next week.
We've already mentioned it twice.
We've mentioned it twice. We need to stop mentioning
Stay tuned for next week.
Stop talking about Trainwreck and how great it is. Sorry.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, we can't talk about how great...
Just about Kong, though. Have you heard today's news about Kong?
No, there's a new one.
There's new ones. So, Michael Keaton dropped out, sadly.
He did. J.K.
Simmons also is a scheduling thing. I don't think it's a reflection of
Russell Crowe was circling it.
He was circling it.
Yeah.
Now, to play the J.K. Simmons role... In talks, we've got Sam Jackson.
Oh, man, that is awesome.
In talks, to play the Michael Keaton role, either Tom Wilkinson or John C. Reilly.
Oh, I want John C. Reilly together.
I know. I want John C. Reilly John C. Reilly's top of a pile, and I feel like he's a dude that... Not to say that he will go for absolutely anything, but he seems to have quite a broad...
range,
he's got range, so...
I want him to be Marvel's Space Coulson.
Oh yes,
that's what I want. I want John C. Reilly to be the Agent Coulson of space.
That could happen. I think he'll come back for Guardians.
Oh, he will. He totally will.
Volume 2.
But if nothing else, apparently we need more backstory for his family. But
there's that one shot of them all just hugging.
But I love the idea that Marvel actually dumped that in. Before Fox did it, Marvel had a mixed race family in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Just the fact that his wife was an alien, that never got mentioned. No one cared back then.
Of course not.
But apparently it's different when it's the human touch.
Okay.
Which brings us on, of course.
Very neatly to Fantastic Four.
A film to which we can genuinely say that if you were one of the idiots who took to the internet to racially bash the casting of Michael B. Jordan, believe me, not only were you wrong, but that is the least of your worries when sitting through this film, because dear God. Okay, so Fantastic Four is the story of...
Set it up for us, man.
So this is the story of a young boy named Reed Richards, who is more or less a social outcast because of his sheer genius. Are you picturing this in your mind's eye?
Mind's eye.
Okay. And he befriends an abused local boy who lives in a scrapyard named Ben Grimm. The pair grow up to become... I say grow up. They get to be age 17 and become...
7 years later.
Yeah, 7 years later, they become Miles Teller and Jamie Bell. And at a school science fair, at which... Miles Teller's Reed Richards is demonstrating his homemade teleportation device, because that's a thing that happens. He is headhunted by a scientist named Dr. Franklin Storm, played by Reg E. Cathy from House of Cards. What's his name in House of Cards? Freddie, that was it. Freddie in House of Cards.
Freddie's Ribs.
Freddie's Ribs, yeah. They didn't franchise that one, damn it.
I know.
and his adopted daughter, Sue Storm, because this actually comes up as a plot point, briefly. His adopted daughter, Sue Storm, played also weirdly by House of Cards actor Kate Mara, and he is sort of poached to go and work in a... It's never made particularly clear what it is, but it's called the Baxter Building, and young scientists work there. Amongst them is his surname ever given, or is it just Victor?
They say Victor Von Doom.
So he's Victor Von Doom, played by Toby Kebbell.
He did have a different surname when it was like Domashek. And then
Victor Von Domashek.
Yeah, then fans saw it and the internet.
Going to work on this teleportation device for Franklin Storm's government-funded think tank. However, a trip to an alternative dimension, named Planet Zero, results in an accident which imbues Victor, Jamie Bell's returning Ben Grimm, Reed Richards, Sue Storm, and Sue's rebellious brother Johnny, played by Michael B. Jordan, who we should point out for the purposes of this movie is actually Franklin Storm's biological son. It imbues them all with a variety of increasingly wacky, or not wacky, as the case is in here, powers, horrifying powers, which leads to a lot of nothingness. Here's a clip.
Amazing.
Oh, thanks.
Amazing you didn't black out the entire Western Hemisphere. You basically ripped a hole in the fabric of space-time with unspec'd components and no supervision.
Yeah, that was an accident.
And if by accident you upped the power, you would have created a runaway reaction that opened a black hole and swallowed the entire planet.
Well, I'm glad that didn't happen.
So yes, the Fantastic Four there. And the Snaptastic Chore.
There's so many puns, isn't there?
I'm not going to repeat the one you texted me last night because under Ofcom regulations we're not allowed to.
It was funny.
Yeah, it was funny. But yeah,
I'm sure everybody can figure it out.
Wow, where to start with this one? Okay, yeah. I think everyone expected disappointment with this film.
Yeah,
and to be honest with you, I walked into the film myself thinking, right, someone has dropped the ball here. Now, if the film is good. If the film is any good, if it's average, even if it's average, then the marketing department have dropped the ball. Okay, it's the marketing department who've dropped the ball, and the way they've handled this film, even going down to how they've handled the press on the film, everything about it has been badly, very, very badly handled. Right, they've not done a single thing right with handling the marketing for this film. Right, so if the film's average or anywhere above average, marketing department have dropped the ball. Otherwise, the filmmakers and the studio themselves have dropped the ball. So, which is it? In reality, it's both. Now, the film is dross. There are moments that work. However, I do say moments, and I am talking about 30-second moments, a handful of 30-second moments, dotted solely throughout the first hour of the film. The film is 100 minutes long with credits. It's nearly 90 minutes. It's just over 90 minutes long before credits. Yeah. Your villain doesn't turn up until 12 minutes before the end. I think I clocked it.
Something like that.
12 minutes before the end, which is also where all of the plot is located. It is a plot which doesn't make any sense. I mean, none of the plot seems to make any sense, actually, because I couldn't even tell you what the Baxter Building was. Is it a school?
I don't think anybody could.
Is it a school?
I think it's meant to be some kind of research lab come school.
It's never defined.
Well, he says he's been offered a scholarship, so that would denote some kind
is it
of
a college? I don't know. I don't know. What is it? Is it an MIT-like college? I don't know, because the film never defines it.
It's just the Baxter Building.
The film is very much fixated on, you know what, here's some real teenagers talking about real teenage takes on this. You're like, yes, but you've cast actors visibly in their mid to late 20s, and then you keep insisting that they're teenagers. Now, I'm one of the few people, I like the 2005 original, because for me, as a lifelong Fantastic Four fan, got into it when I was a kid, I got the cartooniness right. The Fantastic Four is a family movie. It is a family movie. I'm sorry, there is no way to do the Fantastic Four unless it's a family movie. And if you want to go, the darkest and most serious you can do it is The Incredibles. Otherwise, it's Tim Story. That's it. And you can say what you want about Rise of the Silver Surfer. That is a Fantastic Four movie.
The Galactus Cloud.
It's cloud-based villains, yeah.
Cloud-based villains, yeah.
Right. Silver Surfer is a Fantastic Four movie. You literally cannot make a better Fantastic Four movie than Silver Surfer was, because it's pitch perfect, a Fantastic Four movie. Fine, you probably could have gotten, an actually blonde actress rather than that awful wig and obvious set of contacts, and probably found an actress who was old enough to have a PhD to play someone with a PhD. But aside from that, I like it, and I like the cast. Because that was
the original, yeah.
That was what they got right. They got Ben and Johnny right last time. They were perfect. So, rather than giving us a straight, serious version, straight-faced, serious version of Fantastic Four with some Avengers-style one-liners in it, giving us John Hamm as Reed Richards, giving us Liam Hemsworth as Johnny Storm, going and getting Terry Crews to be the Thing, because if you're going to race bend it, at least that's race bend correctly, and going and getting January Jones to be Sue Storm. Rather than doing that and taking it seriously, what we've got instead is, I'm making a comic book movie, but I'm really embarrassed about the fact that it's a comic book movie. And that's what this feels like. All the way through, it feels like everybody involved, even the cast, are just embarrassed to be in a film that is in any way associated with a comic book. It's boring. That's really strange.
One of the worst things you can say.
It is. It's quite boring. The characters simply aren't likeable. Reed Richards is a very difficult character to write in comic form. Yoan Grufford got it mostly right in terms of how he played it, which is, do you know what? Give him G-Shocks. He is a G-Shocks character.
Yeah.
If you're going to make it work, that's the only way. If you're going to do it properly, then frankly, he's a sociopath. This is a guy that should scare Tony Stark. That's the character in its original form scares Tony Stark. He is a guy that Hank Pym thinks of as weird. G-Shocks was a great way to play it for Yoan Grufford. Here we have a character which simply isn't consistent. And you've got moments which are kind of Rain Man-like. You've got moments which are, I'm just a nerd. And then you've got moments of Snapchat. I don't get it. What is this character, you think?
As I was saying to you earlier, I think that is one bit of the film, but I could kind of little bit get on board with, because when he was at his original school, obviously he was an outcast and he only had one friend that would kind of believe in him, and then he's poached at this weird fair thing.
Now,
I think he kind of comes out of his shell when it comes to
I would counteract that though by saying that there really isn't, except for one scene which happens to precede the accident, which incidentally is explained away with the dumbest justification any superhero movie has ever come out with, genuinely. And I'm sorry, but Marvel proper managed to explain the resurrection of Coulson.
Yeah.
This movie couldn't come up with a decent explanation to cause the Fantastic Four accident, despite the fact that you could have just done it straight and it would have worked. They came up with the dumbest American Pie take you could possibly imagine to do this. And you start thinking, how does this not feature Sean William Scott? I say, it's boring. It feels overlong, despite the fact that it's a 90-minute effectively. You've got a villain who's the victim of a very obvious rewrite. In fact, the worst villain rewrite this side of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I feel like that rewrite took about 10 to 12 minutes, which is roughly how long he's in the film for.
You've got a final conflict which doesn't make a whole heap of sense. No. A villain who's very poorly designed, very poorly conceived.
The costume is just awful. But
it doesn't make any sense because nothing in the film makes any sense.
Melts onto him.
And the weirdest thing for me, and this is the strange one, and I suppose this comes hand in hand with getting the director of Chronicle, there are some frankly grotesque images in this that really push the boundaries of what should and should not be allowed in a 12A.
Well, before the film came out, this was his whole vision. That's what I was saying.
He said we were going to go body horror.
We're going to go body horror, we're going to go full-on Videodrome Cronenberg. That's what we're going to do. My interest was piqued at that.
Now, I draw the line, however, at here is a guy that, for all intents and purposes, you think is dead, aflame for apparently days.
Yeah.
For apparently
days.
It's
just a lifeless body.
It is just a lifeless body on fire. Now, really? I mean, I've seen that awkward moment, so, the idea of watching Michael B. Jordan on fire for a couple of days doesn't entirely unentertain me. But
oh, come on, man. Dude's going to be crude.
I joke, actually. He is the best thing in that awkward moment.
I think he's well cast in this. To be honest, I think quite a lot of them are well cast.
No, actually, you say that. He's well cast. He's not well written.
That's my point, yeah. The dialogue.
If you got Michael B. Jordan and to play Chris Evans's Johnny Storm, fine, great. You can do that in his sleep. This is, I'm trying to be taken seriously because all the studios went into a bidding war to see who could get me into a franchise first, so I'm going to give them their money's worth. Here's a new expression, it's a scowl.
Yeah.
And you're like, are you Zoolander? What the hell is this? Kate Mara, incidentally, what is she playing? But this is... I am a dour-faced wench.
Susan Storm from Kosovo.
Yes, Susan Storm from Kosovo, because that is literally part of the plot point.
That's where she was adopted from.
That's where she was adopted from, because as we pointed out, Reg E. Cathy's character has done a reverse Madonna.
Yeah, went to Kosovo, was like, give
went
me
to
one
Kosovo
child,
and
please.
did a Madonna. Yeah, I want to buy your child. Yeah. So I mean, for all the use of the term race bending on the internet, they at least race bended Madonna. So
There we are.
And then of course you get to Jamie Bell, whom is it just me or is he so wasted in this?
But you can say that with Jamie Bell in so many films and wannabe trying to start a franchise that he's been in.
Do you know what?
We were talking about Jamie Bell last night and saying that dude was the best thing in Jumper. Jumper is not a good film.
Oh yeah,
he
best
really
thing
tries in that film.
You know what? I at this point I'm gonna put it out there. Can we have a Man on a Ledge sequel? Please give us a Man on a Ledge sequel. We can get Jamie Bell back. Genesis Rodriguez can get some work out of it, and God knows she's always nice to see on screen. Sam Worthington could use the role clearly. And we now know that Bill Sadler can have a partner as well. Yeah. So but no, this is bad on every way, on every level conceivably. This is not an I'm a fanboy, I don't like the reimagination, because it's based on it's arguably quite close to the Ultimate Fantastic Four comics.
Yeah,
which
there's a lot of panels, but it just looks like it's shot for shot, really.
But it's dull, it's lifeless. The characters aren't in any way likable or interesting. There are moments
to like interacting with each other.
They don't seem to like interacting. The actual Fantastic Four, which is literally the title of the film, by the way, only appear on screen for collectively the final 3 minutes of it. And no, it's not very good. There's not a franchise in this. Frankly, we should get, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a sequel more deserving than giving this a sequel. I'd rather see a John Carter sequel than this. I really would.
What about a Lone Ranger sequel?
I'd rather see a Lone Ranger sequel than this. Genuinely. Yeah. I enjoyed the Lone Ranger more than I enjoyed this, because you know what?
I enjoyed
at least
Lone
it had
Ranger
characters.
Anyway.
Lone Ranger at least had characters. And you at least
had development.
And development. And a beginning, middle and end, and obviously... And that had production troubles.
Oh yeah,
So,
big time, yeah. But
That
way
had
over
production
budget.
troubles.
Way over budget.
So they couldn't make this work. But no, I actually think the blame lies squarely at the feet of both Josh Trank and whoever at Fox interfered.
Yeah.
Because it does feel like you had a director who, and let's not paint Josh Trank as some sort of saint, because if as he's now claiming the first half of this movie is his, then I still don't see what the second half would have been. Because unless this film was going to be 2.5 hours long and they locked an hour out of it.
Well, he said his first version would have wowed critics. That's what he said.
Well, one thing's for sure, Josh, you sure as hell didn't manage it this time. So you got any final thoughts on this one?
No, I think we've covered pretty much everything. I will say the first 5 to 10 minutes I was on board with.
I was. Strangely, I was.
We've compared it to like an Amblin film.
Yeah,
haven't we?
very much so.
Very much. I like the relationship with Ben and with Reed to begin with. And to an extent, just before we go off to Planet Zero.
Well, this is kind of a problem for me, because those opening 5 minutes, for instance, are here's the story of how Ben and Reed met. Okay, and this is the story of their friendship. You think, okay, so the whole movie's about these two friends and how
I like that.
That's actually a very good take on the Fantastic
Four. It's a good kind of two-hander, isn't it?
It doesn't say that way, though, because Ben's written out of it 10 minutes in, only to be brought back towards the hour mark, and then he's kind of written out of it again, only to be brought back at the very end. You're like, what?
Yeah, and then the thing's just
and the
really
thing
grotesquely moody.
Yeah, and you're thinking this is from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles school of... Yeah, no. Anyway, we're running out of time, so we're going to leave that one there.
Didn't enjoy it.
Didn't enjoy it. It is in no way fantastic. The only thing it delivers
Fantastic
on this title is...
Fantastic Floor.
Fantastic Floor?
Fantastic Floor.
Bortastic Floor?
Yeah. That's the best thing, all the puns.
Well, I think I can safely say the best film of the week is The Diary of a Teenage Girl.
Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to watching it.
You should.
I will definitely watch it.
We should name drop our competitions as well.
Oh, yes,
for the
let's
time
just do
being,
that,
because if you go on to onscreenfilm.com, go in our competition section, we've got goodies. We've got DVDs of Everly to give away.
Oh, cool, yeah.
Did you ever see that one? It was kind of good, actually.
No, I might enter the competition and try and win a DVD.
I'm not sure we must have a term and condition in there.
Yeah, where hosts can't win, yeah.
But, so we've got Everly to give away on DVD, which is the Salma Hayek action film from Joe Lynch. We've got Sinister 2 goodies coming up as well. That's at some point this next week.
Yeah.
We've also got Fantastic Four goodies, t-shirts, flash drives and things. So all there, onscreenfilm.com, go in the competition section and get entering your chance to win. Next week, we have Pixels to come, which is out Wednesday of all those. So that's
I'm probably going to see it Wednesday, yeah.
We've got the sort of Monty Python reunion. We've got Absolutely Anything with Simon Pegg. We've got The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Cannot wait to
Can't
see
wait
that
for
film.
this. Alicia Vikander, man. This is going to
Yeah,
rock.
oh man. She's so good.
I love her so much. She's so good.
Ex Machina, man.
I need her to be the biggest star in the world. So simply so I can say, called it.
Yeah.
And of course, that film about the rail disaster is next week as well. So.
Are we going to say what it's called again?
Okay, let's just name drop Trainwreck because it's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
And we'll tell you how awesome Trainwreck is next week.
Oh, you tease.
This has been a Candystore production for OnScreen. I've been Van Connor.
I've been Kase Allen.
And we'll be back next week.
Just show me the way to get out of here, and I'll be on my way.
You've been listening to OffScreen. For more news and reviews, visit onscreenfilm.com.
Victor! Only the surfer could stop the destroyer! But he needs his board!